Protect your passion. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
Well, race fans, welcome aboard as we are live from right here at Anderson Speedway, Anderson, Indiana, for the 72nd running of the Payless Little 500, and getting set to go with our qualifying coming up here in just a few moments. The push truck's already coming down into the infield. We'll see the cars start to appear. We had a practice session earlier on this morning, and in the practice session, the number 4 car, Cody Swanson, reestablishing his dominance is what we're going to call it, sitting atop the field. But some cars to watch. The 56 look very good out here coming into this event with 3 non-wing sprint car wins right here at Anderson Speedway. Said he feels like they have a pretty good package, but he was quick in the practice sessions, was at the top of the charts for a long time. It just kind of got shuffled around there towards the end. But this is qualifying today for the Little 500, the Payless Little 500. Now, I'm going to explain to you how this qualifying works because it's a little different than anything you're used to. We're going to watch them. We're going to get timing and scoring up there whenever they come out onto the track, and you're going to see their lap time. But the lap time is not what counts. What counts is 4 combined laps. So they have to have 4 laps put in together. Those 4 laps are combined, and that combined time is what sets them up for qualifying. It's how they qualifying. Here's the rest of the story. They get 3 attempts at qualifying. However, when they come out onto the track, they'll push off down in turn number 1. From turn number 1, they'll come around. As they pass the flag stand, they get 1 to go from the starter stand. They can abort, so they get that first lap in there. They can abort down into the infield and say, not this time. That does not count as an attempt. Or that does count as an attempt. That does not count as an attempt. When they come around the second time, they take the green flag. Once they are on the green flag, that counts as an attempt. They have to put 4 consecutive laps into the books. Those 4 are combined for the qualifying time. Anytime before they take the checkered flag, they can pull the infield and abort that attempt. That counts as an attempt. They get 3 attempts at qualifying. If they take the checkered flag, that's their qualifying time, and that's it. They're done for the day. You can't come out and try it again. So even if it's your first attempt and you take the qualifying time, you are done for the day. You cannot use your other 2 attempts to come out and attempt to improve your time. So I'll explain it again. They come out, they see 1 to go from the starter stand when they pass the flag stand. The next time around, they will get the green flag. If they pull off before that, it does not count as an attempt. If, however, they take the green flag, that counts as an attempt. They put in 4 consecutive laps. Those 4 laps are all combined, added together. That's their qualifying time. They can pull off before the checkered flag, in which case they obviously don't get a time, and that counts as an attempt. They can do that 3 times. The third time, they need to get past the checkered flag because that's their qualifying time. You're going to get 3 attempts. So hopefully that made sense for you. It did to me. Jack McMichael checking us out on the old Flow Racing Facebook page. We are live on all the socials. We're live on Anderson Speedway's page. Thank you for joining us on there as well. We're also on the Flow Racing apps, so you can download the Flow Racing app to just about everything. Roku, Fire Stick, your smart device, your smartphone, or whatever, your TV. You can cast it to your TV. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. So the Flow Racing app's the way to go. But if you download their Flow Sports app, I should say, the Flow Sports app, then there's watch parties. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There's extra content that's not on social media. I did, I think, 4 interviews today. We talked to Cody Swanson, Eric Gordon, 9-time champ. We had a chat with him. We talked to Jeff Bloom, who was attempting to make his 42nd starts in the Little 500, and Tyler Rohrig. That was our 4 interviews we did this morning, and all those are up on the Flow Racing app. So if you have the Flow Racing app, make sure you check out that content after our qualifying's over. Qualifying is going to take place. It's a 2-hour qualifying. You can see nobody's rushing to get out here. This is how it works. So they can come out anytime they want. There is not a qualifying order. They don't pill draw for a qualifying order. They're not set up for qualifying based on their practice times. It's just whoever shows up goes qualifying. And they have 2 hours to do that. So there might be a lot of time where we're sitting here just looking at each other. Like Karen and Matthew Gilbert tuned in. Thank you so much for joining us here for the qualifying. So there's a lot of time where we might just be sitting here chatting with each other waiting for a car to show up, and then there's other times where cars might be stacked up down the staging lanes waiting to come out and qualify. So it's just one of those days. But thank you for joining us here on the Flow Racing socials and the Flow Racing app. Something else that will happen is today they only get to turn in one time. So they come out, if they take the checkered flag and they put that time into the books, that is their qualified time. Tomorrow is bump day. We qualify 33 cars into the field. There are 36 cars here today, and I got news for you. There's more coming tomorrow. So we had some that were here for practice session last night or this morning and had engine issues. There was another one that they weren't able to get here in time. They're coming tomorrow. They're going to try to qualify in tomorrow. So we have a couple cars showing up tomorrow. So we'll actually be over 36 cars, closer to 40. And we're only qualifying 33 into the field. There's no provisionals. So tomorrow on bump day, we're going to do this whole process again. And during the process, what happens is cars that are not in the field will attempt to qualify into the field. And if they do, they will bump somebody else out, which means that person has to attempt to requalify themselves back into the field. So hopefully that makes sense. So there you have it. Matt, is it Sichi? Sichi is what I'm going to say. So that's what's going on. Kyle Long's tuned in, watching on the old Flow Racing Facebook page. Mary Hagenbottom, thank you for joining us. So we're just waiting for somebody to show up and qualify. 70-second running, pay less, little 500. Make sure you take this opportunity. You can actually follow along with Anderson Speedway on their social media. There are, I think, a couple tickets still available. They are on an extremely limited basis, however. And normally, this is the thing, well, we got the whole COVID thing going on. So it's a little bit sad, but it's also the state of the affairs that we're in. They are at 50% capacity for this race. This race, if you're not familiar with it, if you're just checking it out on the Flow Racing page or on the social medias or on the Flow Racing app, this event, the Little 500 on Saturday, is standing room only, usually. It's hard to get in here. They will sell out on tickets for this event. This year, 50% capacity. They're still going to sell out on tickets, but it's ain't going to be half full, which is a little bit sad, but it's also good that we get to go racing. So I'm just happy about that. So tomorrow, bump day. Saturday's race day. You can find a complete schedule on the Flow Racing Facebook page. I know it was posted up there. I'm sure it went out on Twitter and different things, too. It'll be in the app as well. Start times for that. But we will be here for all of it on Flow Racing. So we're actually underway with qualifying. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we are. We're just waiting on somebody to show up. Some other interesting cars there came out here for this here race. Some other interesting cars that showed up for this race. Kenny Schrader is here, the 78. This will be his third Little 500, which, hard to believe, 2 years ago he's a rookie. So we're going to try to interview him tomorrow. They also do, I should tell you about the Little 500 if you're not familiar with that. So it's called the Little 500 because it is 500 laps. So 500 laps the distance. They're required to make 2 pit stops, one before the halfway point of lap number 250 and one after the halfway point of 250. And this is, in fact, a high-banked quarter-mile track. It has a lot of texture to it. And it's one of the things I'm so glad that every time I come back, I'm afraid that they repave, but they haven't repaved yet. I'm so glad because it has character. So this is a driver's track out here. They will start 33 cars, 3 wide, 11 rows deep for the Little 500. So that's all coming up on Saturday. 2 pit stops. They have a fuel dump, gravity feed fuel dump, same one they use for IndyCar. And you'll get to see that in action. We'll try to do an interview with one of the pit crews tomorrow and try to show you a fuel dump and how that works. That might not happen until Saturday, though. That's usually when they break those bad boys out. There's a lot of cool stuff about this event. It's a bucket list event. There's no doubt about it. So who else is tuned in? Luke Lucero tuned in watching. 15-second laps is what he said. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we practiced today at 11 seconds. So 11.4, 11.3 in there somewhere was the fastest one. If you go to the Anderson Speedway Facebook page, you'll be able to find, they posted the practice sessions. I know Cody Swanson was quickest, but I'm almost positive it was 11.4, 11.3. Greg Mayberry tuned in from Illinois. Yeah, nobody's come out to qualify yet. So they have 2 hours to put in qualifying. We just got done with a practice session, so everybody down in the pit area probably working on the race cars, tweaking them a little bit. And this is one of those deals, too, we get into pavement sprint cars. There's a lot of little changes, make big things happen. So they're very careful about what they change down the pit area, and I'm sure they're all getting tweaked and ready to rock and roll here for the Little 500 qualifying. Here's our lap times from the last practice session. Final practice, top 10. Chris Neuenschwander, 11.309. Cody Swanson, 11.333. Tyler Rohrig was 11.345. Kyle Hamilton, 11.352. So 11.3. What we're looking at for lap times here. And that'll get quicker as the weekend goes on, too. We're running on a green track this morning, and we had rainfall yesterday, so it wasn't a lot of rubber put down. We had a lot of moisture last night, so as the weekend goes on, we'll pick up the pace a little bit. Not a tremendous amount, but a little bit. So I think that's the plan. Sean Danner's tuned in from out in California. Thank you for joining us here on the old Flow Racing broadcast. William Patterson tuned in from down Naples, Florida. Wish you were up here, too. So one of the things that happened with the COVID, we're definitely down on car count. Everybody knew that was going to happen. For this year, for us to be close to 40 cars, I'm pretty stoked about that myself. I'm sure the track is as well. We lost a lot of our Florida contingency. A lot of good racers come up from Florida. I know a couple of them made the trip, but many opting to stay home. We also, just because of the way things were rescheduled, we ended up on a weekend that USAC is racing out at Sweet Springs. You can watch that on Flow Racing, too, by the way. So you can tune into both of those. But they'll be out Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex with the USAC National Midget Series, which, what a great racetrack that is, too. It's like visiting your friend's house. But that'll be live on there. But we lost some of the drivers, like Chris Wyndham's one that usually comes and runs this event, Justin Grant and those guys, but they have to run with the National Series. So we lost some drivers that way, too. So not the number of cars that we usually see for this event, but still a very good field. Again, it'll be close to 40. We got a couple coming in tomorrow, we know for sure. But Travis Welch tuned in. Yes, this is Anderson, Indiana, just a little bit northeast of Indianapolis. Cal Bunger tuned in from here in Indiana as well. Who else we got watching? Corey Smith. Oh, well, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate that. So fastest in practice, it kind of flip-flopped around. We had a number of practice sessions. Practice last night and then a couple sessions today, but I just read that off to you. Neuenschwander was the quickest. Cody Swanson was at the top for a while. Tyler Rohrig was at the top. Aaron Pierce, I think, has been fast in practice sessions. So it's kind of what you expect. And that's the thing about the Little 500. The other thing's crazy about it, too, is you got everything from 6 cylinders up through, big V8s out here getting around the racetrack, and the entire field, there are 33 cars will all be qualified very close together. We're talking thousandths of a second. So that's why it's important whenever they come out for a qualifying run. It's a 4 combined laps. If you're just tuning in, it's 4 combined laps. It's not your best lap. You have to put in 4 very good laps, and they will watch that. They get 3 attempts at qualifying. So if they're not happy to get to lap 3.5 and it's not working out well for them, they'll pull off and turn number 4 and not cross the finish line, take the checkered flag, and that'll be 1 attempt, but it won't count for their time. So they get 3 attempts. Once they take the green flag, they get 3 tries. But if they take the checkered flag, that counts as their qualifying time, and it's 1 and done. Once you put in your 4 laps, you take that checkered flag, you are done for the day. You got to come back on bump day if you wish to improve. And there are some drivers that will do that. We've seen that in the past as well. Alan Rasmussen tuned in from out in Nebraska. Thank you for joining us here. Hey, we're going to be, well, no, it's Kansas. I was going to say we're going to be in Nebraska. No, it is Beatrice, Nebraska. We'll be out there for the Oktoberfest as it is now. It was moved from September to October. So Beatrice Speedway will happen in October. We'll be in Kansas, Hays, Kansas, the Rolling Plains Motor Speedway, the Fall Nationals coming up. That'll be on Flow Racing. I always said Speed Shift TV. We used to be Speed Shift. Now we're Flow Racing. What else we got going on? All kinds of cool stuff. You can go up to the event page. If you're on flowracing.com or flowracing.tv, takes you to the same place. Click on the events and check out all the cool upcoming events. And I know there's a number of them that aren't up there just yet, since they're still working out details, but we'll have racing all the way through the winter months. We broadcast a lot of stuff from New Zealand, Australia. Hopefully they're racing down under. You'll be able to tune into all that with your Flow Racing app, or Flow Sports app, I should say. Kyle Long, yeah, and I was talking Kenny Schrader down to pits, talked to him there, and he's good spirits, and he's stoked to be out here. He loves this event, and can't believe it took him so long to find it, or become a part of it, I should say. Looked good in a practice session. Actually had some pretty good runs in the Little 500 in the past for Kenny Schrader. He'll be driving the number 78 car when he comes out here, but I believe he has 3 or 2 starts. Hang on a second. Let me pull up his driving record here at the Little 500. Yeah, so this will be his third. 2017 was his first Little 500 start. He finished 10th that year. He finished 9th in 2018. And it looks like he had engine failure last year, so did not finish the race in 2019 for the former USAC National Sprint Car champ. Some people forget that. He won a championship when I was in the 7th grade with USAC, 1983. That was before you were born. Long before he was born, he says. Coop turned in. Thank you so much for joining us. I got a message from somebody else on Facebook. So you can chat to me on the Flow Racing Facebook page. Usually I watch Twitter and stuff like that, but I'm actually, there you go. Scott, thank you so much. So there's our last practice. I thought Cody was the top of the field, and he was. 11.2. So 11.2 was the quickest lap turned out here, and that's Cody Swanson. And again, that's a little 6-cylinder underneath the hood, but they are a torquey son of a gun. For the 6-cylinders, Eric Gordon's got a 6-cylinder too, I know, in the 77. Brian Gerster was second quick with 11.269, 11.309 for Neuenschwander. He was third quick. Rohrig with 11.3. Kyle Hamilton and number 5 was 11.3. John Inman was 11.3. It was basically 11.3s from there on out. So Swanson, Gerster, 2 cars that turned in 11.2. So the track already picking up the pace just a little bit. But now the sun's shining down on it. We get track temps coming up. And here comes our first contestant. And it's going to be, lo and behold, we were just talking about him, number 5 car, Kyle Hamilton. Danville, Indiana racer, rolling down into the staging area. So our pit stops, these are sprint cars, they got to push start them. During live racing action, they literally will push start. I don't know what's up with me talking today. It's been a while since I announced. They will push start these bad boys right out into traffic. Gotta love that kind of challenge. So there's no guarantee that the Clatt Enterprises, Inc., Clatt Motorsports, Clatt Classic Cars number 5 car will qualify. He's going to come out and take it around the racetrack. Hamilton, one to watch, picked up the win back in 2017 in the Little 500. And actually, this is the same car that he won the Little 500 in. So same car, same driver. But Hamilton will get pushed off. He'll bring it around. He'll get 1 to go from the starter stand. And then he can decide whether or not to take the green. If he takes the green, that's considered an attempt. He gets 3 attempts. So if he takes the green, that will be considered one of his 3 attempts. If he takes the checkered, that is his qualifying run, and he is done for the day. So he pushes off, and a lot of times you'll see him come around and drop right back into the infield. They'll sit down there and idle, get the engine temperatures up. So there's 1 to go from the starter stand. Kyle Hamilton. Easing down into the corner. I don't know if we're going to see one or not. We'll find out. Throttles. He's taking the green flag. This will be attempt number 1 for Kyle Hamilton. Clatt Motorsports, Class Classic Cars, down on the inside, rolls on through. And again, it's combined 4 laps. We're going to give you the lap times, and we'll kind of figure out what a good lap time is. 11.2, 11.3. Lap number 1 brings it across for Kyle Hamilton. And he pulls the infield. So that was his first attempt. He goes a 12.090 on that 1 lap that he put into the books. And again, it's combined 4 laps. So that's his first attempt. He'll sit down there and idle with it a little bit. They kind of got a feel for the car. He gets 2 more attempts at qualifying. Here comes our next contestant. If I'm not mistaken, hard to tell, but I think it's Brian Tyler. Yeah, 44 car, Albion, Michigan runner. Contos Racing, Inc. Larry Contos passing away, and then Brian bought the race car. He had driven it for a number of years. Now owns it, and Brian, former USAC National Sprint Car champ back in the 90s. Actually a 2-time champ, if I'm not mistaken. Ran some IndyCar, some NASCAR. Now he's got this gorgeous number 44. That's the other thing about the Little 500. These cars, a lot of these cars have been around for a long time. A lot of them are only used for this race. They'll take them home, tear them down, nut and bolt them, and go through absolutely everything, get ready to go for the next year. Brian Tyler throttles it up. Sounds a little feisty down into the corner. He'll take the green flag this next time around. Looks like he's going to stick with it. The 44 car is going to go on the clock. Here with the green flag, this will be attempt number 1 for Brian Tyler. A little loose. Coming out turn number 4, saw the back end walk around on him. He lays her into the banking down in the corner. or turn number 4, I should say. Lap number 1, we'll see what he's got. Needs to be in the 11-second bracket. I'm sure they're watching that very closely. My timing and scoring not exactly updating as quick as I would like. First lap, 11.741, not too shabby. He'll put lap number 2 into the books. His second lap, clicking off at 11.840, so 11.7 on his first lap, 11.8. Here's the white flag. If he takes the checkered flag, this will be his qualifying time for Brian Tyler, and then we'll have to wait. Let's see what it is. He went 11.756 that last time, so 7.41 his best lap. Checkered flag is his qualifying attempt. He's done. He can go eat hot dogs and drink Coke. We'll see what his combined time is. She'll add it up in the booth, but his last lap at 11.6, so it'll not too shabby across the board. All of them averaging out right around 11.7. So live timing it'll be a little convoluted for us, because what will happen is it'll disappear off the screen, and what they'll do is they'll combine the 4 laps. I think they re-enter it manually, and then it'll pop back up again. So it's a little tough to keep up with timing and scoring during this little 500 qualifying. I'm trying to get my thing to recalibrate here. So we should have some timing and scoring here before too awful long. Here comes the number 5 car out again for lap number 2 for his, what will be his second attempt. His first attempt, you remember, he took the green flag. That counted as an attempt. He put a time lap into the books and then pulled instantly to the infield, but Kyle Hamilton's going to try it again. Danville, Indiana racer. Maybe a little faster this time. Needs to average down in about the 11.5 would be my guess to get a good qualifying time. Make your way into the 33-car field again tomorrow. Bump day, we'll do it all again. Hamilton comes around, takes the green flag, so he is officially on the clock. And for the record, his warm-up lap was an 11.5, right where I said would be a good average. We'll see if he can maintain it. There's lap number 2 for him. Goes 11.239 for Kyle Hamilton. He's got a pretty good run going on here on that first lap, scored into the books. Hamilton lets it sweep up high through the apex. Turn number 3 and 4 brings it across. Second lap, just a tick slower. 11.276, 11.239, his best lap. That's 2 laps in the 11.2 bracket. Here comes lap number 3 for Hamilton. White flag comes out, and he might stick with this because that's 11.254 on his third lap. If he can get another 11.2 out of this, that's going to be almost, or maybe, a front row starting spot, depending on how the rest of the field shakes out. Checkered flag comes out, and Hamilton stays with it, goes 11.248. So every lap in the 11.2 bracket, 11.239, his best lap. That happened on his lap, or his first lap, I should say. So not too shabby. They'll combine those times, and right now I believe that should put him in the number 1 spots. So we'll find out. Ryan Tyler qualified for the record with a 46.996. 46.996 for Brian Tyler. We'll wait until they get that entered in, and we should see it shake down. So you're not going to see... You're going to see the best time. Actually, it should pop up for you, but it's going to look a little awkward for a while. So 45.017. So Kyle Hamilton, currently your quick qualifier with a 45.017 combined 4 laps. Brian Tyler is second quick with a 46.996. That's a difference of 1.9 seconds over 4 laps. So there you go. 2 cars have qualified, and they're done for the day. They can go back and work on the units down the pit area. Here comes contestant number 3 out onto the racing surface. So get to roll them out. I'm just going to scroll back through here. Estelle tuned in, watching from Wheelersburg, Ohio. We got a lot of stuff happens in Ohio. Rick Roth checking in from Odin, Illinois. Thomas asking about V6s. Yep, you'll be able to hear them whenever they come out. Sounds like a Banshee on the racetrack. Kyle Hamilton, P2 last year, little 500. So 31 car pushing off now, bringing it out onto the racing surface. Third one, this is Derek Bishak out of Angola, Indiana. Bob Bishak owned a race car. Jason Dietch Trailer Sales sponsors of the last year's Rookie of the Year in the Silver Crown Series. Was actually ran the whole pavement schedule. pavement specialist behind the wheel. This is his first little 500, attempting to qualify into his first field. These cars a little smaller and a little squirrelier than a Silver Crown car. Silver Crown car is limited to 360 cubic inches. I don't think that's the case out here. I know it's not the case out here. Hear him ramp it up. Bishak on the move. His opening lap, or his warm-up lap, was a 12.2. Needs big improvement for the number 31 car. Here comes his first time lap going into the books, and I'm sure they might pull him off. 11.495, though, not too shabby. On lap number 1 for Bishak, and here I think get up off the ground, a little bump coming out turn number 2 and onto the back straight. We kind of ramped up the RPMs for him, and again he gets that thing powered down into the corner. 11.447, his second lap for Derek. Trying to carry some speed through turn number 3 and 4 to the white flag. He might be going all the way with this one. We're going to find out. It seems to be the trend that we've been seeing. 11.357. Anytime you got the Magnum hanging on the back of the period on your time, that's not too shabby. Here comes the fourth one, and he's going to stick with it. Almost got out from underneath him. His fourth lap is going to be 11.322, 11.322 for Derek Bishak, and we'll see where he settles down into things. And here comes a very fast race car out onto the track. Aaron Pierce pushing off. 26 on the front of his race car. 26P, I think, is how he's being scored. Sam Pierce Chevrolet, G&G Oil, number 26 car, and Pierce has been so close. Out here at the Little 500, has over 17 career starts in the Little 500, has finished second a number of times, but has not picked up the win yet here at Anderson Speedway in the Little 5s. He'll take the green flag and go on the clock. Warm-up lap for Aaron Pierce was 11.405. See, sales are down into the corner. Derek Bishak, for the record, is now second in qualifying. Pierce's first lap, 11.267, very good, and that thing is smoother than chicken lips down through turn number 1 and 2 and onto the back straightaway. He has got a line figured out. Look at that thing barely coming up off the ground. Very forgiving race car underneath of him. Lap number 2 for Pierce, a little slower, 11.490, so 11.267, his first lap, his best lap. So we'll keep her throttled up. Sam Pierce Chevrolet providing all the push trucks down the infield. Third lap going to be 11.561. He slowed up again, so each consecutive lap he has gotten a tick slower, and it looks like he is going to go with it. Checkered flag coming out. Aaron Pierce is going to put his qualifying time in his final lap at 11.468 for Aaron Pierce in the 26P. So Kyle Hamilton, currently your quick qualifier. Derek Bishak and Brian Tyler are your top 3. That would be your front row. We start 3 wide, 11 rows deep. And Aaron Pierce stays with that qualifying time. So that will be his attempt for today. So if something happens, if it shakes down, he wants a better qualifying run, he'll come out again tomorrow and try it. And we'll see whenever they get the times combined. It'll update, and it looks like Aaron Pierce will be third quick now with a 45.786 combined time. So Kyle Hamilton, Derek Bishak, Aaron Pierce, now looking to be your front row. Row number 2 starting to fill out with Brian Tyler as it sits. So we bring out another qualifier. I believe that's a 64. Boy, that's a small number on the hood of that. If it is, it's Jerry Coons Jr. Yep, that's Jerry Coons Jr. The number 64 car, Tom Brewer Jr. owned. Speed Chaser sponsors on the side of the number 64. The 3-time national midget champ, Triple Crown champ as well. One of only 6, I believe, in USAC history to win a championship across the midgets, sprint cars, and Silver Crown cars. Very good pavement racer. And Jerry Coons Jr., one of those racers, actually has won USAC races in 4 different decades, starting back in the 80s. Has made 5 Little 500 starts, finished second and third. Was not out here with us last year, unfortunately, but is here with us again this year. So Derry Coons Jr., his son, doing a phenomenal job racing now. The old apple not falling far from the tree. So Coons coming out for a qualifying run. Check back in on the Facebook page. Justin Belfiore's tuned in. I should have known that was going to happen. How you doing, Justin? I haven't seen you in a Coons age. Thanks for joining us. You can catch Justin in action in Super Modifieds. So here we go. Jerry Coons Jr., Speed Chasers, number 64 car coming around here. Will go for the one to go from the starter stand. Hear him get into the throttle. Plenty of horsepower to be had underneath the hood of the number 64 car. Green flag comes out. This will be attempt number 1 for Jerry Coons. We'll see if he rolls with it. First lap at 11.656. That wasn't his first lap. That was his warm-up lap, so we're going to call it. So the next 4, and he's got a bad push through the apex of turn number 3 and 4. You see him fight that thing back down. Goes 11.509 for Jerry Coons Jr. No attitude adjustment down turn number 1 and 2. She floats at this end and pushes at that end. He's going to work with it. For Coons, lap number 2, 11.402, 11.402 for the number 64 cars. He sails it down into 3 and 4 for lap number 3 coming around. White flag coming out. If he puts this one into the books, he goes 11.561, 11.561 on lap number 3, his 4th and final combined lap, and he's going to go for it. So he brings it through the corner onto the front straightaway. Checkered flag comes out, 11.426. Almost his best lap coming there on that final lap for the number 64, as he was sure tuning on that thing in there in the cockpits. So we'll get his combined time added in here. Right now, Kyle Hamilton, a 45.017. So far, the pace sitter, or pole sitter, I should say. It looks like Jerry Coons settles into 4th quick on the field, as now the number 51 car comes out here for a qualifying attempt. That's Rapid Russ. That's Russ Gamester, a Lombard, Illinois. Arnie's Ace Hardware sponsors the former USAC National Midget Champ. And his warm-up lap, and I lied to you, that's 51H car, not the 51. So Scott Hampton, a 12.011, so 51H. So Scott Hampton out of Greenfield, Indiana. Motor City Auto Transport sponsor for him. His first lap at 11.411, not too shabby for Scott Hampton. Hampton, you know him, a regular out at Lincoln Park Speedway. You can catch him in action on Flow Racing a whole bunch as he gets way high down turn number 3 and 4. Second lap, a little slower, 11.439, but not too shabby good. Catch on the 51H cars. He's wafting a little smoke down at this end of the racetrack, a little smoke at that end of the racetrack. Not exactly sure what's going on, but there's the white flag, 11.505, his 3rd lap. Here comes the 4th lap. And again, he sweeps up high down in turn number 1 and 2, missed his mark on the entrance. It looks like that might be the game plan. He's trying to grab some gravity with the 51H, and Hampton's last lap at 11.628. So we'll see what he gets, but that is his qualifying attempt for today. So Scott Hampton, the 51H, which looks a lot like the 51, especially since it doesn't have an H on it. So Hampton goes down into the number 5 spot in qualifying. Now the 7C, Caleb Armstrong, Newcastle, Indiana racer. Neil Metal Recycling sponsors on the 7C car. Racer started out in the quarter midgets back in the day. Takes the green flag. Warm-up lap for Armstrong, 11.672. So Kyle Hamilton's your quick qualifier. Derek Bishak, Aaron Pierce, Jerry Coons Jr., Scott Hampton, and Brian Tyler are the 6 cars that have put time up on here. And here comes lap number 1. Armstrong, his first lap at 11.374. Very good run for the 7C. You know him from the Chili Bowl. He is qualified into the A main down there on a prior occasion. Second lap's going to be 11.307, and Caleb Armstrong's got himself a pretty good steed, and he's got a good line around the racetrack. 6 little 500 starts for him. His best finish happened back in 2017 with a 5th. His next lap is 11.316, all of them right there in the 11.3 bracket for Caleb Armstrong. Last year was the first one out as he got caught up in an accident, unfortunately, for a 7C. Looking for a little retribution here in 2020. His last lap at 11.435, so not too shabby. The 7C car should be sitting pretty. So we'll find out where he settles into the qualifying orders. Dakota Armstrong awaits a little nudge down here in turn number 1. CNA Motorsports, Meristem sponsors on the 7A. And it looks like Caleb Armstrong's going to be second quick on the field, a 45.432. He sits just behind Kyle Hamilton by 0.4 of a second over 4 laps. That's a 1/10 of a second a lap. That's not too shabby. So Dakota Armstrong, this number 7A car, getting set to push off. Former ARCA Rookie of the Year. He's actually a Kenyan midget champ and was the youngest driver, I don't know if it's been broken since, to win a USAC National Championship at the ripe old age of 13. So he did that in the Kenyan midgets. Ran NASCAR in Xfinity Series, Camping World Truck Series, and here he is for the Little 500 in a very beautiful number 7A car. I go against convention. I like green on race cars, but that's just me. Still waiting to push off, waiting for a call from the flag stand to give him the nudge. But thank you for checking out all the action here on the Flow Racing socials, or if you're on the Flow Racing app. Pat Templeton chiming in says, I hope you'll show some of the clips of previous Little 500 starts. If you have the Flow Racing app or Flow Sports app, we put the old Little 500s up there. They're already on the app. You need to go watch them. See that 3-wide start. Levi Jones told me they never call back a 3-wide start. He got start on front row here. Dakota Armstrong coming around. He takes the one to go from the starter stand. We'll see what he's going to do for us. If he wants a number one spot, he's got to be faster than a 45.017 combined 4 laps. He looks quick coming out of the corner. His opening lap, as a matter of fact, 11.382. So that's his warm-up lap. And Dakota throttles it down into turn number 3 and 4. Catches that little bump coming out there and goes 11.343, 11.343 his opening lap, or his first time lap for Dakota Armstrong. So far, everybody's just gone for it and putting a lap into the books. Nobody's made more than one attempt at this. 11.186. Hello, how you doing? Dakota Armstrong out here flexing a little muscle, a little deep down into turn number 3 that time. Took him up a little wider than he wanted to go, and he goes 11.346 for the effort, but 11.186, not too shabby. That's going to drop the old average over the 4 laps, and he's trying to work with it. There he was on the binders hard. Checkered flag comes out. Dakota Armstrong finishes it off with 11.228, and that is going to put him maybe in that number 1 spot. We'll find out when they combine those 4 laps. My goodness gracious, what an effort for Armstrong. As Billy Weiss rolls out onto the racetrack, Noblesville, Indiana racer. And Armstrong second quick by 86 thousandths of a second. Holy smokes. 45.017. Kyle Hamilton still your quick qualifier. Dakota Armstrong a 45.103. 86 thousandths of a second off that top spot. Weiss Masonry, number 12 W car on the racetrack. Former Turkey Night Grand Prix champ behind the wheel. Takes the green flag. His warm-up lap was an 11.710. 11.710 for Billy Weiss. A 12 W car snaps on him down the back straightaway. We saw that abrupt move to the right there. His wheel broke loose, and he's going to wave that one off. I kind of suspected as much. So he is attempt number 1. And again, as long as you don't take the checkered flag, you pull the infield, it doesn't count. Well, it counts as an attempt, but not a qualifying time. So that's what he's going to do and get himself pointed back here towards the push-off area. Keep your eye on Kawagari getting ready to roll out next. The number 67 car out of Beech Grove, Indiana, SFH Racing Development, Speedway Indoor Karting. Has 2 starts. In Little 500, best finish at 20th. Racer that's been behind the wheel of midgets, probably where you know him from, but also Indy Light cars. A little difference. He comes out 1 to go for O'Gara. So Hamilton, 45.017, your quick qualifier so far. Dakota Armstrong, Caleb Armstrong, Derek Bishak, and Aaron Pierce are your top 5. We'll give you the top 6, Jerry Coons Jr. Warm-up lap at 11.746 for Kyle O'Gara. Down the back, He's out of the throttle for a while through turn number 3 and 4. Opening lap going to be 11.502. Not too shabby for the number 67 cars. He picks the left front tire and coasts it down the back straightaway. That thing was rocked back onto the haunches, and again you can see daylight under that left front. That is a very aggressive setup here for qualifying. 11.520. The opening lap there for the number 67 car, or second lap, I should say, as the white flag comes out. Third lap is going to be 11.404, or 494 rather. And this will be the final one. And again, that left front just dangling on to number 67. He brings it on through and goes 11.538, 11.538. Kyle O'Gara is done qualifying for the day. So we'll see where he settles into things as Shane Hollingsworth gets prepared to pull out. The Lafayette, Indiana racer, Nolan Racing, Kiko Coatings. This is a teammate to the defending race winner, Cody Swanson. So 2 identically prepped cars. Hollingsworth, a former Hoosier 100 winner. So 8th quick for Kyle O'Gara. 67 car settles in with a 46.054. So Kyle Hamilton, 45.017, still your quickest car out there. Dakota Armstrong, Caleb Armstrong, your top 3, or your front row. You can think of it that way. As Hollingsworth gets prepared to push off. His career best finish in Little 500 was a 3rd, which he has done twice in 2011. Did it again in 2018. Won the USAC Most Improved Driver back in 2008. You were asking about 6 cylinders? Boom, baby. There you go. Shane Hollingsworth has got 6 cylinders of fury underneath the hood. Banishing way down into the corner. 1 to go from the starter stand. Coming around to take the green flag this time out of the corner. We'll see what his warm-up lap is for the number 20 car. And they are torquey little beasts. You don't need a lot of horsepower here. You need torque. 11.630 his warm-up lap for the number 20 car. Not long straightaways. Need a lot of grunt. On the exit, he's got it. Goes 11.448 on lap number 1. His look out back in, tried to step out from underneath. Thought he was coming out turn number 2. He had to feather the throttle on the number 20 car. He'll scrub off a couple thou, which is what this is all about. 11.444, very consistent race car. Consistency wins races. We all know that. Down into the corner he goes, on the binders for a while. Back to the throttle again. White flag comes out. Lap number 3, 11.506, his slowest lap. And he has got a push coming out of the corner and takes him right to the wall. Number 20 car had the wheels turned. That thing did not want to go for him. He's going to finish it off, though. Checkered flag comes out, 11.679 on that last lap, thanks to that push where he got tight coming out turn number 2, and we'll see where Hollingsworth settles into things. So number 14 car out onto the racetrack. Doug Fitzwater behind the wheel of the number 14 car. Takes the one go from a starter stand. I believe Fitzwater, this might be his rookie season here, and it looks like Hollingsworth ninth quick on the field with a combined time of 46.077. Warm-up lap for Fitzwater is going to be a 12.737, 12.737 for the number 14 car. Fitzwater. Across, lap number 1 is going to be a 12.080, 12.080. So much to figure out. You come with the little 500, you have the track. It's a quarter mile high banked, and the banking does not translate. It's 11.884, much better that lap around for the number 14 car. Fitzwater starting to get a little comfortable. But the banking does not translate to the camera. You have no idea how steep this thing is out here. As he swings up way wide down through the apex. White flag comes out for the number 14, a 12.022. We'll see if he's going to stick with it. Looks like he is. This is going to go one and done on this bad boy. So first attempt going to be his only attempt here today for the number 14. Checkered flag at 11.830. Good improvement for Fitzwater on that last lap, and he'll salvage a not too shabby qualifying run for the number 14 car for the racer out of Anderson, Indiana. He had a long ride to get here. Probably could have walked. So he'll come around, pull down into the infield. Coming up next is the guy out of Fenton, Missouri. Former USAC National Sprint Car Champion behind the wheel. Making his third run here at the Little 500. It's Kenny Schrader. Federated Auto Parts, Armstrong Garage Door sponsors on it. Brad and Tara Armstrong own the number 78 car. Schrader coming in and driving for him, and was a rookie here just a couple years ago. Hard to believe. Want to go from the starter stands, been very consistent in the practice sessions. 500 laps, a long way to get around this racetrack, and Schrader will be the first to tell you not a spring chicken. Boy, he loves this event. His warm-up lap is going to be 11.966, 11.966 on the warm-up lap for Kenny Schrader. We'll see what he has in store for us. CB bops his way down into turn number 3 and 4. That little bump on the entrance, 11.727 for Schrader. Good carve through the corner here in turn number 1 and 2, and he's kind of working the wheel like he would a dirt car. You can see him in there flicking the steering wheel, trying to get that thing to come around. Second lap at 11.846, 11.846, lap number 2 for Kenny Schrader. Into the corner and onto the front chute. White flag comes out, and Schrader's going to go for it. 11.739. Everyone's been right there around 11.7. Nope. Shuts her down, brings her to the infield. That'll be attempt number 1. You have 3 attempts as long as you don't take the checkered flag. So Schrader will be back out here at least one more time. Here comes Brian Gerster out of Fishers, Indiana. David Gerster Racing, Winchester Furniture Showroom, number 27 car. Career best finish a third in 11 Little 500 starts. Finished 6th last year. Is definitely a pavement sprint standout. Actually, he sped it. My favorite story about Brian Gerster is he set a speed record at Bristol. At Bristol, in a sprint car. His average lap speed was over 150 mile per hour. That'll blow your eyebrows off. So Gerster coming out here with the number 27 car. A little different look to this car, and if you watch the front end of it, there's really not a front end. There's a little wing out on the nose, and then the front end abruptly ends just in front of the power plant. So that was an engine heat run. So that was one to go. He drops down into the infield, so he'll be back again. That does not count as an attempt. He didn't take the green flag. Here comes Chris Neuenschwander. Neuenschwander one to watch. New Haven, Indiana racer, and the Jerry Powell number 12 car. Dunham Rubber sponsor for him. Has 8 Little 500 starts. Finished 6th back in 2014. But Neuenschwander just a very consistent race car during the practice sessions, although back end wagging around like a happy dog when he came out of turn number 4 that time. We'll see. Warm-up lap for Neuenschwander. It's going to be 11:3:48. That's a good warm-up lap. There's no doubt about it. He is on the green flag and down the back straightaway for the number 12 car. Let's see what he has in store. His front end also a little light for him. 11:3:30 for the number 12. A good opening lap. As he is working the wheel hard. He's on the binders. The back end actually slid the tires on it down into turn number 3 and still goes 11:2:92. He is running the wheels off of that thing. A lot of work taking place behind the wheel of the number 12 car. Neuenschwander down into the corner, brings it out. White flag comes out. What's he got on this one? 11:2:52 for Chris Neuenschwander. I told you he was quick in the practice sessions. It'll be his year as he continues to work the wheel down into the corner. Checkered flag coming out. What's he got? 11:315. 11.315 for Chris Neuenschwander. That's not going to be too shabby at all. He's not going to get Kyle Hamilton off the top spot with that 45.017, but he's going to be right there with the number 12. So we'll see what happens whenever they get his all punched in. Looks like he's going to be third quick. That's a front row starting spot with a 45.189 for Chris Neuenschwander. Not too shabby. So now it's Hamilton, Armstrong, Neuenschwander in those top 3 spots. Here comes Brian Gerster, Fisher's Indiana Racer, David Gerster Racing, Winchester Furniture Showroom. In the number 27. Coming out here, takes the green flag, and I believe his second attempt. 11:5:30, his warm-up lap. Gerster down off the banking and across goes 11:3:18. Looks pretty good. Boy, that thing cornering like a mouse in sneakers down turn number 1 and 2. What's he got in turn number 3 and 4? She's getting right around there. Ooh, that's good handling race car. 11:2:79 on the second lap for Gerster. He's got something this time. And that left front down across the white line on the inside of the racetrack. Lap number 3 for him as he almost power slides down turn number 3 and 4. Goes 11:2:66. And he is right there. That would have been one of the quickest times or some of the fastest times in the practice session. Starting to get a little rubber down now. We're picking up the pace, but not a whole lot. And Gerster is right there. I'd stick with that one, too. 11:3:11 on that final lap. Brian Gerster's got himself a good run in the 27 car. So we'll find out where he settles into. Coming out onto the racetrack for the record, Tyler Rohrig out of Toledo, Ohio. This is one to watch. He was quick in the practice sessions. He comes into this event with 3 non-wing sprint car wins in a row right here at Anderson Speedway. So he has got momentum in spades. Gerster, for the record, on the front row with the number 27 car. 45.174 combined time for Brian Gerster. Third quick overall. Here comes Tyler Rohrig. Evan Jackson Racing Engine, CB Fabricating sponsors the number 56 car. His opening lap, his warm-up lap at 11:4:59. He needs just a little bit more speed if he's going to get on the front row. He said the most important thing is that they can pass cars with it. And 11:2:29, his opening lap, his first scored lap, is very good. So he is very good at passing cars. Lap traffic is without a doubt a factor. At 11:2:75 on his second lap, but lap traffic and a little 500 goes together like peas and carrots. Here comes lap number 3 for the number 56 car. 11:2:49. That's a good one, too. Let that baby just kind of cruise through the corner. Let out the throttle, just rode it on through, and here comes the checkered flag, and he's going to stick with it. Tyler Rohrig goes 11:2:03 on his final lap for the number 56 car, and hello, front row for the number 56, I believe. We'll wait until they get the times combined, but I believe that's what we're going to see. Yep, boom, baby, top spots for Tyler Rohrig in the number 56. That was a beautiful, beautiful qualifying run for Tyler Rohrig, and he's going to be happy about that. 44.956 combined time, and he is now on the pole with the number 56 car. Kyle Hamilton, Dakota Armstrong fill out that first row. Baden Stewart's tuned in. Why isn't Baden out here walking around this racetrack? I have no idea, but thanks for joining us on the broadcast. I had you on my draft the other night, and then you weren't able to make it, I don't think, or something happened. No pressure, though. Speaking of the draft, if you're into dirt draft, and you should be into dirt draft, the dirt draft, the little 500's on dirt draft. So you can go up and do a little fantasy racing on the dirt draft app. You need to download that. And the best part is you don't have to set your lineups until Saturday. Like, you get to watch qualifying. You know exactly what's happening with qualifying. This is Brian Gossel out of Windsor, Colorado. Brian Gossel Racing, BG Automotive. Gossel, longtime dirt track racer, made a move into pavement. He's run some wing pavement stuff, but he bought himself a Silver Crown car. He bought a non-wing sprint car, and he's coming to the Little 500. This is his opening little, or his very first Little 500 for Gossel in the 6G. Runs with the ASCS sprint cars a lot. The warm-up lap's going to be a 12.398 for Brian Gossel, but he is learning everything about these race cars. Finished 11th in Silver Crown up at Sealands Grove, which says a lot because that is a big old fast track. 11.882, lap number 1, and he is tight. Oh my goodness, that thing was tight. He's pushing like a dump truck down turn number 1 and 2. We'll see if he sticks with it or if he goes back into the pits and tries to tune on. He might put in a couple laps here to get a feel for it. 12.262, still tight, turn number 1 and 2. He wants to turn. The car wants to turn, just isn't happening for him though. White flag comes out. Gossel going to ride it out. 12.2, nope, 223, and I thought for sure he'd pull the infield, and he does. That'll be attempt number 1. This is a shot at the top spot, though. Kingsburg, California racer, and this is a 3-time and defending champ. Went back-to-back, as a matter of fact, in 2018 and 2019. Kiko Coating sponsors a Cody Swanson, who made his Indy Pro 2000 debut and won the race. And we've been saying for years that somebody needs to get him into bigger open wheel, move up into IndyCar or something like that. He is a pavement specialist, and he is bad fast. 5-time Silver Crown champ. And here comes his warm-up lap for the number 4 car. A little 6-cylinder and good. Goes 11.312 on his warm-up lap for Cody Swanson. I think it's the flames that do it on the front of that race car, for the record. I don't know if that's a speed secret or not, but that's what I'm going with. Lap number 1 is going to be 11.221, 11.221 for his opening lap. He's got to be a better combined than a 44.956 if he wants the pole away from Tyler Rohrig. Lap number 2 is 11.159 for Cody Swanson. Tiptoeing through the tulips in the number 4 car down into turn number 3 and 4. Here comes lap number 3 for the number 4. Where's he going to be? He's going to go at 11.158, just a thousandth of a second quicker. And Cody Swanson's going to the pole unless he really colossally screws up coming out turn number 4, and I don't think that's going to be the case, although he does bump the wall. 11.207, 11.207 for Swanson on that 4th lap, and that should put him in that top spots. Unbelievable. He now takes the top spot away. And Cody Swanson will get his combined timed up here in just a moment. A 44.745. 44.745. Tyler Rohrig's now second quick. Moves to the middle of that front row. Kyle Hamilton will fill out the front row. But Swanson was 0.2 of a second quicker in the 4 combined laps than Tyler Rohrig, who was second quick. Unbelievable. Tommy Nichols on the clock, number 55 car, his warm-up lap at 12.099. And the Wilo USA, number 55, Tommy out of Tampa, Florida, one of the Sunshine State drivers out here with us, and he is, I thought he was headed for the wall. High pucker factor for the announcer. 12.395, that first lap that goes into the scorebooks. Made 3 starts in Little 500, all of them back in the 90s. Unfortunately, he was had mechanical issues. He was involved in an accident. He's also going to throw this one away. 12.486. He's going to idle around here at least another time or two, and then I think going to call it quits on this. So he's made 3 starts in the Little 500, has yet to finish a Little 500. There's the white flag, and he'll shut her down, bring her down into the infield. So Tommy Nichols will be back out in for another attempt. Speaking of another attempt, this is the second attempt for Billy Weiss, the Noblesville, Indiana racer in the 12W car. Getting a little nudge there in the Sherfick sponsored ride. Thank and appreciate everybody for joining us here on the social medias, on the Flow Sports app. You want to download the Flow Sports app. There's so much to see on there. It's not just racing. $150 a year gets you absolutely everything across the Flow Sports genre, which is softball and hockey and wrestling and grappling. I don't know the difference between the two of them. I know they do a lot of it in the pits of the dirt track. 11.383, 11.383 for Billy Weiss on his warm-up lap for the 12W car. Grapple. Isn't that something you eat for breakfast? 11.448. Oh, it's scrapple. Sorry. 11.448 that first lap for Billy Weiss. 11.272 on his second lap. Little sparks coming out from underneath the undercarriage of the 12W car. That's perfectly normal. Nothing to be alarmed about, folks. You'll see that a lot during the Little 500. Next lap going into the books is going to be 11.282. Not too shabby. Billy Weiss has got a good run going on. He's going to put this one into the books. Checkered flag this time out. Turn number 4 for the 12W car. Noblesville, Indiana racer. Ready to go eat some hot dogs. Boom. 11.319. 11.319 for the 12W Billy Weiss. So that one is complete. He should settle in there around a 45, I think is what I hear him saying over the track PA. They get a little quicker addition taking place. I think it all goes into a spreadsheet. So we'll find out where he settles down. Looks like Billy Weiss is going to be 7th quick on the field, a 45.321. So Cody Swanson, your quick qualifier for now, 44.745. Tyler Rohrig is 2nd quick in the 56 car. Kyle Hamilton, the number 5 car, will round out your front row. Again, 3 wide start, 11 rows deep for the little 500. Dakota Armstrong, Brian Gerster, Chris Neuenschwander are technically on row number 2 for now, but we've only had 16 cars come out and qualify out of the 36 that we have in attendance here today. Plus, tomorrow on bump day, we will have more cars coming in. So only a 33-car starting field. There's no provisionals. So tomorrow we'll do this all again, and drivers can opt to attempt to re-qualify if they want to try to get a little further towards the front of the field, in which case they give up their qualifying time from today. Or if they're not in the field, they will attempt to qualify into the field and bump somebody else out. And then that person will have to try to re-qualify back in, so on and so forth. That all happens tomorrow. I think 1:30 start time on that as well. We'll be right here on the socials and on the Flow Racing app, the Flow Sports app. Shane Butler, Keen Services, number 18, out of Bushnell, Florida. His 10th Little 500 this year. If he's able to start in, had a best finish of 8th back in 2016. Warm-up laps 11.919 for Butler. Owns his own race car. Rips down into the corner, onto the front chute, 11.710, 11.710 for Butler. She sharpens up big time down the back straightaway, gets his foot to the mat on that bad boy. Lap number 2 is 11.599, 11.599. This will be lap number 3. Coming out for Butler in the number 18 car. There you hear it just break the tires loose momentarily at the flag stand. He shuts her down, pulls her to the infield, 11.485. So he needs to improve his average. As here comes attempt number 2 for the racer out of Fenton, Missouri, Kenny Schrader. So was out once already, aborted takeoff on that one. Tim Fralin tuned in. See, I was just talking about Beatrice Speedway and the Beatrice Oktoberfest, as it's now called, out the Gage County Fairgrounds. And lo and behold, Tim tweeting at us. Kenny Schrader, I'm not sure what happened right there through the apex, but something on the front end. He might be all right. We'll find out. 78 car comes out, 12.034 for Schrader on his warm-up. This is attempt number 2 for the number 78 car. 11.734, 11.734, not too shabby on that lap. That's a little better for him. And Schrader, I'm not sure what I saw whenever he came out here for the warm-up lap down turn number 1 and 2, but it has happened since. It looked like something on the front end, but that's not the case, as he got her glued to the racetrack. 11.648, 11.648, his second lap for Schrader in the number 78 car. Here comes lap number 3 going into the books for Federated Auto Parts Armstrong Garage Doors. Sponsored ride 11.750, and Schrader's going to ride this one out. Here comes the checkered flag out of turn number 4. He is committed to this qualifying run. So second attempt's going to do it for Schrader, and he'll finish off with 11.702, 11.702. So Schrader, as I mentioned before, is actually has not, well, last year had engine failure, but didn't finish outside the top 10 in the previous 2 starts. So Kenny Schrader's combined time will be coming up. Looks like Schrader is going to, or is he? 15th quick on the field. It's now the number 27 back out, Brian Gerster. Got the high halo on the number 27. That's an old race car. Takes the green flag, goes on the clock. His warm-up lap's going to be a 12.046, and he is working the middle of the groove down turn number 1 and 2. Into the corner, and again, tick lower that time, 11.981. Not too shabby. For the number 27 car, trying to qualify in there good. If he wants the top spot, going to be better in a 44.745. I don't think he's shooting for the top spot. He's shooting for 11.695. He's shooting to make the field, get into the pack. Once you get into the little 500, then you got to change your whole game plan. It's like we talked to Eric Gordon earlier. He said you go into it with a plan, and then as soon as they throw the green flag, that all goes right out the window. 11.775 on lap number 3 for Brian Gerster. Here comes the checkered flag. He is going with this one. The number 27 gets across, 11.652 for Brian Gerster. We'll see where he settles into the mix. So far, we have now had 19 cars that have come out and attempted to qualify. So that's a 27J. I apologize. 27 say a Chris Jagger. I should be paying attention to that. Goes a 47.103, 17th quick on the field for the 27J, and my apologies. So Chris Jagger in the 27J out of Warsaw, Indiana, Headington Farms. He's made 3 starts. His most recent start was back in 2006. So here comes the number 59, Inman. See, he has a visor on. I can verify that I got the right car number. So the 59 of John Inman out of Dover, Florida. Northside Propane. Number 59. Regular with the Southern Sprint Car Shootout Series. And may still have the track record at Citrus County down in Florida. Dave Steele, a name that you know, and unfortunately was taken from us far too soon, but John Inman, former teammate, was Dave Steele. Do a little Googling on Dave. That'll teach you a thing or two about a thing or two. Tremendous race car driver. Green flag comes out. Warm-up lap for Inman is going to be 11.672, 11.672 for John Inman. This will be his third Little 500. Dropped out last year, had mechanical issues with the race car and wasn't able to finish it off. And has a beautiful steed. Goes 11.513 on lap number 1. So 11.513, and there again you hear it ramp up down the back straightaway, swells up the tires. He's got massive amount of horses. 11.509 his second lap. Very consistent race car as well. And Inman looking for a good qualifying effort on this. See if he can get himself towards the front of the field first half anyhow. Third lap, 11.307. That is the best lap yet. Happened on lap number 3. Starts to get a little heat in the skins. And the proper angle trajectory coming out of the corner. 11.458 on his final lap. He'll take the checkered flag, and John Inman's done qualifying for today, and we'll see where the number 59 car settles in. So he is down 11th quick on the field, so 59 goes 11th quick on the field for John Inman, 45.787. So Cody Swanson still up top, and here comes Mickey Kempkins. Number 68 car out of Tampa, Florida, PCS Racing Inc., PCS Racing. And Kempkins, one of those racers, runs winged asphalt sprints primarily, but very good in the non-wing car, very good here at the Little 500. His warm-up laps, 11.761, 11.761. But Kempkins, one of those guys, if you do Google him to find out more about him, you'll find out at one point he had a bounty placed on him down in Florida because he was so good and winning so many races. 11.428, 11.428 his opening lap. Has 5 Little 500 starts. Finished 5th back in 2017, it looks like. 11.363 for Kempkins and Mickey. See that little divot coming out of turn number 2 and onto the back chute. Upsets a lot of race cars. This just kind of blows through it. 11.271 in the number 68 car. This time he cruises down just a tick underneath where that divot is. See what he's got here on the checkered flag lap coming out. And Kempkins got the left donut of dangling. 11.294, 11.294 for Kempkins. And the 68 car is going to have a pretty good run on that combined lap. We'll find out where he settles into things once they get it all punched in there. He is 8th quick on the field, a 45.356, 45.356 for Mickey Kempkins. So 8th quick on the field, which is row number 3 in the start, and that's not too shabby. So here comes Brian Gossel, the rookie runner out of Windsor, Colorado, back out for attempt number 2, or will be attempt number 2, as they'll take the number 68 of Kempkins back into the pit area, and they'll start working on it for tomorrow. Bump day. Be able to watch Bump Day tomorrow on the social medias and on the Flow Sports app. You can also watch the entire race on Saturday on Flow Racing on the Flow Sports app. Download the app. There's all kinds of cool stuff up there. Extra content, I'm telling you. We did some sounds of the pits yesterday. We did some interviews this morning. All that stuff can be found on the Flow Sports app. Lookouts. A little rambunctious down into turn number 3, wasn't it? Warm-up lap, 12.252, and Brian Gossel looked better on the first attempt out here. I'm not sure what they changed on the race car, but you're going to have to change it back as you get some tire smoke off the left front as he had to get on the binders coming out turn number 4. And turn number 4 is where you definitely don't want it. They got the car way too tight. And again, it's a learning experience for the track, for the car, for the driver. This is a dirt track specialist that moving on to pavements, run some pavement stuff with the wing on top, and that is totally different than a non-wing car. This will be the white flag coming out this time, and I'm sure he's going to drop her down into the infield, and he'll change back whatever they changed. And he'll come out, and it'll be his third attempt, and then he has to put the 4 laps into the books the next time we see him. This is the throttle. Shane Cottle out of Kansas, Illinois, the number 95 car nudging off and coming out onto the racing surface. I think. That's how they have it in here. We'll find out whenever it comes across timing and scoring, but I think Cottle is running this race car. So it's Kiesling Inc. owned car. And I think Kiesling used to run it, but I'm not mistaken, they have Shane Cottle in here for the little 500. We'll find out. Jean's Root Beer, I know, is a sponsor on the 95, and any Jean's Root Beer. Ooh, hello, how you doing? 12.225, and that's Rob Kiesling. So Kiesling is running the 95 car, so it's not Cottle behind the wheel, even though it says that on our little driver sheet. So Rob Kiesling behind the wheel, the number 95, coming out here and attempting to qualify, or qualifying today at 11.985, 11.985 for Rob. So Kiesling down into the corner. Not a lot of wheel movement taking place. The thing's set up pretty well. There's a 12.057. So he just kind of, it's almost a Sunday drive around there for the number 95 car. White flag coming out. Put this lap into the books. 11.943. See what he has in store here on this 4th lap. So again, Rob behind the wheel. Rob Kiesling coming up on timing and scoring. Goes 11.980, 11.980 on that final lap around. So Kiesling in the 95 car may be qualified into the field. You'll see that too. Sometimes you'll see him attempt to qualify a car in, and then a driver will come in tomorrow. Big things get into the field. That's step number 1. So Rob Kiesling, 21st quick on the field, a 47.965. 21st quick for the number 95 car. Now the number 53 is Justin Harper. Denver, Florida. I believe Denver, Colorado. Denver. It just says Denver. Could be Colorado. 12.522 opening lap there for the Sherry and Tony Harper on number 53 car. Bringing it out through lap number 1, going into the books for the number 53. It's going to be a 12.212, 12.212, and we'll find out which Denver he is from. Later on tomorrow, a lot of this all happened last minute as we were running around getting some things set up, and the driver snuck in on us. 12.043, 12.043, lap number 2, we're going to call it for him. White flag comes out. His 3rd lap going to be a 12.016. He is right there in his low 12-second bracket. He is going to finish this one off. Checkered flag will fly for the number 53 car. And again, tomorrow they can come out and they can attempt to qualify again. They can give up their time from today and attempt to qualify better if they choose to do so. His best lap was his last lap at 11.921, 11.921. So definitely got more comfortable there on lap number 4 for the number 53. Harper, I believe, a rookie runner out here for Payless Little 500. Crawfordsville, Indiana is where this driver calls home. 07 Wilson Brothers Racing, Mitch Smith Auto Sales. Jacob Wilson, 2-time Little 500 champ. Beyond the wheel, we've seen him on dirt tracks as well, but he is one to watch and always a threat to win this thing. So he is hot to trot. Coming out turn number 4. Boy, that thing looked good. A little too hot down in turn number 1 and 2, and I believe carved up a little higher than he wanted to, but this is his opening lap. Here comes the green flag. He's going on the clock, and Jacob Wilson's one to watch for the top spot, 11.620. I just have that feeling. So he's trying to get the power of the ground. Little spin of the tire, slip of the grip coming out turn number 2 that last time. First lap's going to be 11.413. So needs to find some improvement here for Wilson if he's going to go on the front row, but not too shabby so far for the 07. Wilson's second lap looked much better and will be 11.420, 11.420 second lap. 413 his first lap, and that's another consistent race car, just 7,000ths of a second between the 2 laps. Lap number 3 for the 07 goes 11.444, 11.444. And Wilson's going to shut her down, bring her to the infield, and I kind of anticipated as much. So we will get attempt number 2 for Tommy Nichols, Tampa, Florida racer. So Wilson back into the infield. We'll see him here at least one more time. An attempt for qualifying. Coming at us fast and furious. Haven't had time to check in here on the old Facebook. Estelle says that these are not as exciting to watch as sprints on dirt. Estelle, I'm going to explain that to you. Whenever you're talking about pavement racing, any type of pavement racing, you got to look at it this way. Dirt track racing is checkers. Pavement racing is chess. That's how I tell everybody. Different strokes for different folks. Sometimes there's a lot of strategy that takes place here, especially a 500-lap event. But even in this qualifying, whenever you qualify on a pavement car, you're qualifying by thousandths of a second. Dirt track racing, your setup doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It's basically the driver can do a lot with it. Kyle Larson is a prime example of that. Kyle Larson, I don't think is very good at setting up a race car, but he can drive the wheels off of one. In a pavement car, it's the entire crew. There's a lot of tire smoke coming off the number 55. He was on the binders hard down into turn number 3. But it is a crew deal. Everybody has a role in this. And he's flat spotted the tire on the 50. I can see it from up here in the sunlight. 11.824, 11.824. Now he's got himself a situation for the number 55. So he's going to shut her down, take her down in the infield. He'll have to come out for attempt number 3. But anyhow, on pavement racing, it's the entire crew. That's why crew chiefs are so important. Everybody. So pavement racing is an entirely different scenario than dirt track racing. And again, if it's not your thing, I get that. But it's a lot of people's things. It's my thing, as is dirt track racing. Denver, Indiana is where Justin Harper's from. Richie Murray is tuned in. And if you don't know who Richie Murray is, well, then shame on you, because all that media stuff you read from USAC, that's Richie Murray that writes all that and does a phenomenal job. And he put out a great article on a young racer who I said is going to be the next Kyle Larson. That's Buddy Kofoid. So you should go read that. Go to USAC Racing. Check out all those cool articles. So anyhow, we're playing chess out here is what we're doing. This is attempt number 2 for the number 18 of Shane Butler. Bushnell, Florida. Or not. Boy, he didn't even take the green flag. He said, nope, something doesn't feel right. So Butler back into the infield. Threat to win the Little 500 every year he shows up. DJ Racing, Brown and Miller Racing Solutions, I believe. The 22A car out on the racetrack out of Franklin, Massachusetts. This is Bobby Santos. Bobby Santos the third. You want to get technical about it, we'll call him Bobby Santos. Finished second in 2017 and last year in the Little 500. He is one to watch. And he is also close to the wall down the front chute. Warm-up lap's going to be 11.659, 11.659. Primarily runs with Wheel and Modified Tour. Former champ with that series as well for Santos. And goes 11.401 on lap number 1 that goes into the books for the 22A car. So he takes her right tight against the Anderson Speedway sign on the back stretch. Brings her onto the front stretch. Lap number 2 going to be 11.363, 11.363. The old Sunshine beaten down on the racing surface. Makes it a bit challenging. Here's white flag. We'll see what Santos' lap is here on lap number 3. It's going to be 11.358, 11.358, and he shuts her down, brings her to the infield, and he'll try her again. Another attempt. Now, this is Brian Gossel's third attempt. So the Windsor, Colorado racer, this is it. He has to put 4 laps into the books. BG Automotive number 6G car. He's been out twice before. So you only get 3 attempts. If he takes the green flag, it counts as an attempt. He can pull off before he takes the green. It won't count as an attempt. But as soon as that green flag flies and he crosses the start-finish line, it's his third attempt. So he aborts before he even gets there. So that does not count as an attempt because he knows he's down to his last one. So 24, Corey Setzer. Out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tom Brewer on number 24 car, American Landmaster, third-generation racer behind the wheel, focuses mainly on CRA pavement late models. But this will be his Little 500 debut here in 2020. Ran the Rumble in Fort Wayne earlier on this year. He also shuts down. He pulls to the infield. He says, nope. But he crossed the stripe. He should have pulled in before that. But he didn't. As soon as he crossed that stripe, the green flag flew out. That counts as one of his attempts. But if he'd have pulled to the infield out of turn number 4 and not crossed the stripe, that would not have counted as an attempt. So unfortunately, he wasted an attempt right there for the number 24 car. So not sure what's going on. Here comes another 6-cylinder out at you. This is 77 out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Eric Gordon behind the wheel at number 77. 9-time Little 500 champ. And the Glen Farms sponsored car. He ran it back in 2013 and took about 5 years off from Little 500. Was not out in competition. Ooh, he is tight down in the corner. He's just going to throw that one away instantly. So will not take the green flag. It will not count as an attempt. So something, just that quick, he knew something was awry with the number 77 car. Brings her down into the infield, and he'll take a little peeky-poo at it. But he took a number of years off from Silver Crown. You'll see Gordon in action with Silver Crown cars, and then came back in 2018 at Phoenix. I think he came back into Silver Crown after his hiatus. So there's debris in turn number 3 is what Gordon said. Or somebody. Could have been the 24 car. So with that, we'll take a look at the ads while they get the debris cleaned up. We'll be back with you here in a few.
If you want to be remembered, you got to do more than just win. You got to get them out of their seats. You got to give them the slide job, cushion pounding, no holds barred racing they paid to see. This is dirt track. That means pushing it to the edge and laying it all on the line. Yeah, you might wreck. We'll help you get back out there so they can watch you try it again and again. See, dirt track is a sport of the people, and only they decide if you're to be remembered. It's your job to take risks and make sure you're memorable. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
Well, his opening lap was 11.781, 11.444 on his first lap. Shane Butler back out here for attempt number 2. A little tire smoke as he gets on the brakes hard. Or the binders, as I like to call them, down in turn number 3. Next lap at 11.350, 11.350 on lap number 2. And again, that tire smoke wafting off the number 18 car. He'll put lap number 3 into the books. 11.379. Every lap so far has been very consistent. He's been right there. The 11.3, and that's not too shabby at all. It's a little bob and a weave getting into the corner. It upset the race car. He's going to have to stick with it, though, as the checkered flag comes out. 11.567 on that last lap after a miscalculation in navigation in turn number 3 and 4 for Butler. But Butler is now qualified in as Eric Gordon rolls out for what will be his first attempt. He did not come around and take the green flag, so that did not count as an attempt for him. And it looks like Shane Butler will be 11th quick on the field with a 45.748. And here goes Eric Gordon. Screams down into the corner. Green flag comes out. This will be attempt number 1. He's got that baby rock back onto the haunches. We're down in turn number 1 in the media center for qualifying and bump day today and tomorrow. It's a very cool look down underneath the front of the race car. And boy, that thing sets back on the rear end. Really gets the power to the ground. 11.794 is going to be his first lap going on to the time court. His opening lap or his warm-up lap was 11.768, just a tick quicker than what was a scored lap for him. 11.768 on that lap, so that's not too bad at all for the number 77. Again, a very consistent race car. White flag comes out. We'll see if Gordon's going to stick with this or not. It goes 11.577, so he found a lot more on that one, so he will abort takeoff, drop to the infield, and that's attempt number 1 for Eric Gordon. So now the number 24 comes out for attempt number 2. Corey Setzer again crossed the stripe. So he wasted an attempt whenever he shut it down. He knew he wasn't going to be putting that one into the book. So again, rookie runner, his little 500 debut out here, gets one to go from the starter stand. It's a good looking race car. Eases into the throttle out. Turn number 2. Here comes the green flag. He's officially on the clock. 11.932 is a warm-up lap. A little tire shake on the front left of that car. It was definitely chattering on him down into the corner, at least at this end of the racetrack. His first time lap at 11.994. And again, you see that chatter taking place. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but that's literally right before our very eyes. The number 24 car. The throttles are up. 11.724 that time around. He'll fight through the wheel chatter, and he's going to put this one into the books. White flag coming out, I believe. He's got one more, 11.766. Nope, he shuts her down. He'll bring her down the infield. So that's attempt number 2. The next one he has got to go with for the number 24 car. So far, looking down through our qualifying, we have qualified 24 cars into the field. We have a number of drivers that have not come out here, have not gotten a qualifying time in just yet. Corey Setzer was just out on the racetrack. He'll be back for another attempt. He's taking it back into the pit side, so that's how serious whatever's going on for the number 24 car. So Cody Swanson's your quick qualified time with a 44.745. Tyler Rohrig is second quick. Third quick is Kyle Hamilton. Dakota Armstrong is fourth quick. Brian Gerster, fifth quick, and then Chris Neuenschwander is sixth quick, and that rounds out your first two rows. Again, we start 3 wide, 11 rows deep. So we'll bring the 0 car down here. It looks like you're going to get set to go for qualifying. Doug Dietch out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Dietch Brothers Racing, BD Enterprises. Two-time Wolverine Outlaw Midget Champ. But is primarily a non-wing asphalt sprint car racer. And he gets the best-looking push truck out there. Thing is a sexy beast. Sam Pierce Chevrolet if you'd like to buy it. So here we go, Doug Dietch. Ooh, she's a little cackle down into the corner. She's popping and banging. Must have her leaned out. Dietch is going to have to fight it up across the banking, and he crosses her. This is attempt number 1. He might as well put two more laps in there just for practice. 12.684. And then drop to the infield because he already took the green flag. So technically this is attempt number 1. 12.130, and she's rumbling around. Definitely just a tick off its feed for some reason. 11.779. So he'll bring her down into the infield now. Meanwhile, Jacob Wilson set to roll back out onto the racetrack. Crawfordsville, Indiana is where he calls home. Wilson Brothers Racing. Mitch Smith Auto Sales. This will be his second qualifying attempt. Good deep throaty sound to the 07 car. Comes around, 1 to go to the green flag for the 07. There we go. Skipped out of the corner, 11.604, his warm-up lap for Wilson. Had to wait on the car for a while down turn number 1 and 2 before he could get to rotate down off the banking. So see what he's got here on lap number 1. 11.646, 11.646. That first lap for Wilson. Yeah, he's not feeling it. So that was his second attempt, if I'm not mistaken, I think. Unless he pulled off before he took the green flag the last time. But he will get at least one more attempt that we know of. This is Dietch. Already set to come back out. So Wilson going all the way back to the pit area with the 07 car. That was his second attempt. He'll have his third attempt coming up, but they need to visit more tools down in the pit area. So we have a first-time qualifier just rolling down onto the racing surface back behind. He's got his new sticker tires on. We'll see what he's got for us. Meanwhile, Doug Dietch is going to make his second attempt at qualifying in the 0 car for our lone Mississippi entry. Or Michigan. I keep saying Mississippi. It's Michigan. MI is Michigan. Good grief. MS is Mississippi. I was just down in Mississippi. Plus, it's Vicksburg, so you got to cut me a little slack on that. Michigan. Vicksburg, Michigan. Green flag comes out. Opening lap. 11.748 on his warm-up lap. For the Michigan racer. Not Mississippi. Michigan. Vicksburg. Why would they have Vicksburg, Michigan, and Vicksburg, Mississippi? Mississippi's the famous one. 11.696, 11.696, first time lap going into the books for Doug. So not our only Michigan entry. Apparently got it right on the other ones. Lap number 2 at 11.775, 11.775 for Doug. That's what happens when you get me off the mic for a while. White flag coming out, lap number 3, another 11.781. He might stick with this. That's pretty consistent race car, putting in pretty good laps. He just needs to get himself up kind of towards the mid-pack and make the field and worry about the rest on Saturday when it rolls around. Checkered flag comes out, 11.785 on the 0. So much better second effort for Doug Dietch in the 0 car. And we'll see where he ends up with that 4 combined laps. As the 81 car rolls out onto the racing surface. This is Bobby Komisarski out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Jockey's Flowers, number 81, I believe. Might be the sponsor on that. We'll find out. So Doug in the 0 car settled himself into the number 20 spot at 47.037. So 20th quick on the field for him. Just ahead of Chris Jagger, Doug Fitzwater, Rob Kiesling, Justin Harper. So the 81 car throttling up and heading down the back straightaway. I have to read the side up and see. This car, maybe it was sold. I don't know. These cars swap around. Drivers swap around. AeroC sponsor on the number 81 car this year, and I believe that's one that Trey Osborne was behind the wheel of last year. 14.033 the warm-up for the number 81 car. 12.447 lookouts. A little too hot down into the corner. You saw him get on the binders hard, and it almost skipped him up into the wall. The number 81, that was a high pucker factor for the driver in that case. So AeroC hydraulic sponsors on the number 81. 13.316, that last lap around. Here's the white flag coming out on this one. A 12.420, 12.420. He's going to go for it. This will be his qualifying. The number 81 powers onto the front chute, 12.772. Very good lap for him there. 12.420, his best lap. So Komisarski, we'll see where the number 81 car settles into things here in just a moment. Cody Swanson still your quick qualifier and on the pole for the 72nd running. The Payless Little 500, at least as we are continuing on here with our qualifying. So the number 81, Bobby's going to be 25th quick on the field out of 25 cars that have qualified thus far. As Bobby Santos returns for attempt number 2 for Franklin, Massachusetts racer. DGA Racing, Brown and Miller Racing Solutions. So 22A's out here. We got the 22 car right behind him. It should be Johnny Gilbertson, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, it's the Bobby Santos show. So he rolls out here for attempt number 2. Former Turkey Night Grand Prix champ himself. Brings it around. One to go from the starter stand. We'll see the green flag the next time for Santos. Boy, I think carves through the corner nice. Attitude adjustment down in turn number 3 and 4. Green flag comes out as warm-up lap at 11.672, but was definitely not getting with the program. Like we hear now, that little rasp down the back straightaway. So this is definitely qualifying attempt number 2, and he brought her good out of turn number 4, 11.380, 11.380 that first lap for Santos. Bobby back to the throttle very quickly, goes 11.287. That's what he's looking for. They got to get back into the gas just past that white mark that marks the apex of the corner. Right there is where you like to hear it, and that's what he's getting out of at 11.291 on that next lap around. So Santos is finding a little bit of rhythm out there in the 22A car. Checkered flag comes out. This one's going into the books, 11.343 his last lap around. So Bobby Santos. We'll get to now the 4-lap combined time, and he should be down there right around the number 5 or 6 spot if I'm guessing on this. We'll find out once our timing and scoring updates. So Bobby Santos, 7th quick on the field, a 45.301, 45.301. He settles into 7th quick. The racer behind the wheel of the 22A car, so that'll put him back on row number 3 on the inside. Johnny Gilbertson out of Dover, Florida. Keen sight prep, Gilbertson Motorsports number 22 car. Out and on the clock. His warm-up lap, a 12.026, 12.026 for Gilbertson. 5-time sprint car champ down in Florida. 2 of those happening on pavement, 3 of them on dirt. 11.945, 11.945 for Gilbertson. He too might be just a tick tight. Hard to tell. 11.885, 11.885 for Gilbertson. Not too shabby. He's not going to be on the first couple rows, but he's at least going to be into the field, and that's half the battle. Worry about the rest of it tomorrow or Saturday. Goes 11.889 on that lap around. He's been right there in the 11.8s each and every time. Here comes a checkered flag. This one's going into the books for Johnny Gilbertson. 22 car. Where's he going with this? He goes 11.985 on that final lap. And Johnny Gilbertson, we'll see where he settles down. It's going to be down here towards about the number 15 spot, maybe. Maybe a little bit further. 23rd quick. So 23rd quick. That's 47.704. 47.704. So Johnny Gilbertson, 23rd quick on the field for the number 22 car. So it looks like Nichols is going to come out here for another run. So Cody Swanson, the number 4 car, still atop the field, a 44.745. Tyler Rohrig, Kyle Hamilton, your front row as it sits. Dakota Armstrong, Brian Gerster, Chris Neuenschwander on row number 2. Bobby Santos, Billy Weiss, Mickey Kempkins is row number 3. Row number 4, Caleb Armstrong, Derek Bishak, and Shane Butler. That takes you down through your top 12. Again, that all can change. Tommy Nichols shifts some things around for us for the Wilo USA number 55. The one to go from the starter stand. Smooth getting into the throttle, just kind of rolls into it. Green flag comes out. Warm-up lap going to be a 12.376. 12.376 his warm-up lap for Nichols. Second lap. And his first scored lap going into the books, a 12.262. 12.262, and there's that tire smoke coming off of us. He gets into the brakes hard. That left front locking up on him, and that's not a good thing. 12.248, good lap for him, though, and he's just going to kind of work it down on the white line all the way around, much lower than we've seen him running. And again, that front brake locking up on the number 55 car. Not an ideal situation. 12.082 that lap around. He's just going to make it happen. She gets tight coming out of the corner for him. Right back to the brakes again. Maybe slowed load just a little bit too much. This one's going to count. Goes to 12.343 that last lap around for Tommy Nichols. Not an ideal situation for qualifying. So there was a whole lot of tire smoke coming off the left front of the number 55 car. We'll see where he settles into the things. We're looking for the top 33 to lock him into the big dance. So here comes Jeff Bloom. So Tommy Nichols, 27th quick on the field with the number 55 car. So here comes a competitor that's been to more than one Little 500. It looks like Wilson's going to get the nod to go ahead, though. 07's going to come out here for, is this second or third attempt for Jacob Wilson? So 07 car, I think it's his third attempt. I think this one's a go or go, not a go or go home. He'll be back again tomorrow, but I think this is it for the Crawfordsville, Indiana racer. Wilson Brothers Racing, Mitch Smith Auto Sales, number 07. And again, the two-time champ of the race. Tyler Rohrig, we had that question come in from Darren Shanley, who's tuned in from down in Avon, Indiana. Who is Tyler Rohrig? He's been out here before. He's been out here a number of times. Actually won the last 3 non-wing sprint car races coming in to this event. So right here at Anderson Speedway, last 3 non-wing events they've had, he won all 3 of them. So he is definitely one to watch, and this one got a front row starting spot, which got to make him feel pretty good for the number 56 car. So Wilson coming around, take the green flag, warm-up lap for the 07, 11.537. That's a pretty good warm-up lap. And Wilson going to try to put 4 good ones together. Pressure is on the 07. Good run coming out turn number 4. That's a good opening lap. 11.503 is right there. The back end stepped out from underneath him at the apex of turn number 1 and 2. You saw it just wag around, and it does it again in turn number 3 and 4. They loosened it up a little bit too much. 11.634, and now Wilson's got his hands full trying to get the 07 car in a good qualifying spot. So Wilson going to try to work with it. You see right there just almost a Scandinavian flick getting down into the corner and get her down off the banking. Goes 11.658, 11.658 that lap around for the 07, and the back end is kind of all over the place as it wanders like a lost child. And Jacob Wilson's going to try to reel it in. Here comes checkered flag. And goes 11.658 on that lap as well. So Jacob Wilson will qualify in. That was his third and final attempt at it. We'll see where he settles himself down, but so 46.453, the lap time for Jacob Wilson, and that will put him down in the 19th spot. So qualifies 19th quick on the field for 0.7. He's got his work cut out for him, but he is up to the task. I'm sure he'll work on that race car and get things figured out. This racer, it's on the racetracks, the 26 or 26B, as he's being scored out of Bangor, Michigan. Jeff Bloom Racing, Bloom Motorsports. We did an interview with him earlier on. If you got the Flow Sports app, you can go up and watch that on the Flow Sports app. If he makes it into the field, this will be his 42nd Little 500, his 42nd Little 500. He normally runs wing sprint cars. This is a non-wing sprint car. He owns this race car. Jeff Bloom Racing, Bloom Motorsports, 11.734, 11.734. And this is the only race that this car has run. It is only used for the Little 500. Here comes Jeff Bloom out of the corner in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. 11.557. He looks very fast out here this year, the number 26B car. Won the Little 500 as a rookie back in 1972, and he is still out here getting it done. He is loose coming out of the corner and stayed on the throttle, went 11.556, and that threw him off his mark into turn number 1 and 2. He just adapts and overcomes. And here comes Bloom out of the corner. Checkered flag coming out for the number 26 car. Goes 11.659. 11.659 for Jeff Bloom, and that is a very good qualifying effort for the number 26 car. In the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, as well as the Michigan Motorsports Hall of Fame. Started his racing career back in 1967. And Jeff Bloom in the 26B car, I wasn't paying attention, ends up 20th quick on the field. So 20th quick for Jeff Bloom. He's got her in the dance for his 42nd time. This racer, who has won 9 times, still trying to get a good qualifying run. Eric Gordon, Indianapolis, Indiana runner. 11.603, the warm-up lap for Gordon. You see a thing squat down into the corner of number 77, 11.558, 11.558, and it's starting to waft some smoke. Out the front, she's pushing a little bit of oil, and that's not a good situation when you're racing on pavement with big old wide slick tires. The number 77 car down into the corner, and may have just expired something. 11.555, he bows out, pulls down in the infield, and that was his second attempt, I believe. He's going to have to take her pit side, and hopefully that wasn't the third attempt because I kind of lost track of this whole deal. I do know this is Brian Gossel's third attempt. As you see the crew checking out the front of the number 77 car. So hopefully he has one more left in him. If not, he'll be back on bump day trying to race his way into the field for Eric Gordon. So going to do a little track inspection out there as they took a look at that race car, and it is leaking, as we knew, fluid out from underneath of it. So they're going to bring out the golf cart. The golf cart gives you an idea how much banking there is. Look how he's sitting on the edge of the seat. Trying to hang on. So with that, I think we got some advertisements to run for you. We'll be back with more qualifying action coming up. Brian Gossel going to make his third and final attempt.
My name is Cole Bodine. I'm the driver of the Driven to Save Lives Clausen Marshall Racing 39 BC. I'm racing for Driven to Save Lives because it is more than just about winning. I never knew Brian on a personal level, but as I grew up in racing, I watched him race. Being able to work close with his friends and family, I've learned so much about him. And especially, going to the races, all you do is hear about him and how dominant he was on and off the track. That's definitely how I aspire to be. I haven't been with Driven to Save Lives very long. It's been incredible, especially at Chili Bowl. Seeing all the people come up to the registration booth. Half of them aren't even race fans and are new to racing, and to be the driver that they support is incredible. Brian saved 5 lives and healed countless others through organ and tissue donation.
Racing's not a sport. Racing is a lifestyle. It's all night in the shop and long days on the road. You always push a little harder, and you refuse to lose. Protect yourself. Protect your passion. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
Well, cleanup taking place. Unfortunately, there is fluid on the racetrack down here in turn number 1 and 2, so they'll get that taken care of, and then we'll get back to our qualifying as we continue on. About 15 minutes left in the qualifying session. We're looking for the top 33 cars. Again, we'll have a few more cars coming in tomorrow that weren't able to make it today. I was scrolling through some of the Facebook, and I apologize, I haven't had a chance to interact with you as much as we'd like. This has actually been a busy qualifying session. But one of the questions coming up about Chris Windham, why Chris Windham isn't here. And unfortunately, with COVID and the rescheduling of the races and everything else, this race is happening on the same weekend as the USAC National Midget Series is out at Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex, which you can also watch on Flow Racing or on the Flow Sports app. And so Windham is out there. So the USAC National guys, Justin Grant, normally we find him here at the Little 500 as well. Those guys are occupied with the National Midget Series out there, the Little 500 one-off event. Unfortunately, they're not able to run this as opposed to what they run for a quote-unquote living. So that's where they are. Also want to give a shout-out to a couple people. Gary Schuler, who's tuned in watching on Facebook from down in Florida, and Gary and I are friends on Facebook. I went through my Facebook page, and I unfriended 4,700 and some people just because I was trying to recapture it for myself. But Gary Schuler got to stay on. I kept him as a friend, and Gary, I'm going to tell you why. Your fishing pictures are awesome. You catch some absolutely beautiful fish down there. I love watching that. And that's why you're still my friend on Facebook. I don't really like you that much. I just like your pictures of fish. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, but the pictures of the fishing are what kept me on board for that. Who else we got on here? Let's scroll down through. Vince Vogel. I got to give a shout-out to Vincent Vogel, who is tuned in from South Africa, watching the Little 500 down here. South Africa actually has some incredible racing action takes place down there as well. And one of these days, hopefully Flow Racing makes it down there. Maybe I make it down there. But thank you for checking out our qualifying. And again, that cleanup taking place. They got a tire that they drag around the racetrack, helps dry things as opposed to having cars drive through it. Joyce, is it Begonia? Begonia. Cheering on Jeff Bloom. Jeff with that good qualifying run. And again, the qualifying taking place, if you're joining us late in the game here, it's a combined 4 laps. So combined 4 laps, it's not just the best lap, obviously, or because lap time of 44 seconds would be redonkulous at a quarter-mile track. But it's a combined 4 laps. And as it sits, Cody Swanson is your quick qualifier. He's sitting on the pole here for the 72nd running of the Payless Little 500, 44.745. Tyler Rohrig, we just talked about the 56 car. He is currently second, and Kyle Hamilton is third in the number 5 car. That's your front row as it sits. We start them 3 wide, 11 rows deep, 500 laps of distance. They are required to make a pit stop before the halfway point and after the halfway point. That is required. The little 6-cylinders that are out here running with us, like, for instance, Cody Swanson's running, they can make it the entire 250 laps on a single fuel up. So they can pit whenever they want to. Some of the bigger cars eat a little more fuel, and they're kind of limited. They have a certain pit window that they have to hit, but that's kind of specific to each and every team. So little different combinations out there as far as power plants and different things like that. They are all running the same tires, however. So that's something that changed here of recent, I should say. Larry Toppin tuned in, normally down in the infield, not able to make it down here this year. And again, it is limited seating capacity, so we're at 50% capacity. There's signs up everywhere. Everybody's to maintain social distance. There's lines on the pavement and different things like that. I think, talking to Jared, that there are still a couple of tickets available, not many. So if you want tickets, you can call up to the racetrack, or you can come out here to the racetrack if you're close and get tickets and maybe get into this event, but it's 50% capacity, which it's good that we're racing. I'm stoked that we're racing. I know we had to change the weekend and everything else, but it also kind of sucks a little bit because Little 500 is usually standing room only. And it is absolutely amazing event. If you're watching this on the social media, if you're tuned in on the Flow Sports app or you're watching on Flow Racing, you want to put this on your bucket list. This is an event that there's a couple events in the United States that I really feel that any motorsports fan, no matter what type of motorsport you like watching, that you need to attend. This is one of those events. So make your plans to get out here to the Anderson Little 500. There's a lot of people that they come to Little 500. You say, do you have any regrets about going? He said, yeah, I regretted I didn't come here earlier. That was a gentleman that I talked to. He said, I wish I'd found this earlier in my life. But, yeah, it's a must-see event. There's no doubt about it. So cleanup taking place. Looks like we're just about done. We are set to go back to qualifying. And Brian Gossel should be coming out here. This will be his third and final attempts to qualify in here today. Now, tomorrow is going to be bump day. So drivers who have not made it into the field and the new cars that are showing up tomorrow will all attempt to qualify into the 33-car field tomorrow, and they can bump somebody else out. If somebody gets bumped out, then they have to re-qualify and try to get themselves back into the race, but there are no provisionals for the Little 500. So the race on Saturday, a couple people asking about that. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is what time the race starts. There's a lot of cool pre-race ceremony that takes place. We'll have all that covered on Flow Racing. We will not be live for the practice sessions or any of that stuff, but we will be live for the pre-race and the racing action that takes place for the Little 500. If you're planning on tuning in, watching on the Flow Sports app, the race itself lasts about 2.5 hours. So that's what you can plan on. If you want to go back and watch, if you have the Flow Sports app, you can actually go into the event hub, as we call it, and you can find last year's and the year before and the year before that. Little 500 are all up there in their entirety. You can kind of watch it and get an idea what it looks like with the fans in the stands packed to the gills out here. But the Little 500, definitely one of those. It's a race you just have to watch. Also, I'll give you a heads up on this, too. I'll be announcing for the broadcast on Saturday. And I am lucky I can keep myself straight on this. I have a lot of help from some friends that help keep straight, but it's not unusual for the race winner to come from 4 laps down. We had, I think it was 2017, 2018, down in turn number 3 and 4. We had first through fourth all clumped together, but they were not running in order. Like fourth was actually, it looked like he was leading, but he was 3 laps down, and just it's just craziness and chaos. So I highly recommend that you get the Race Monitor app on your phone, so you can watch the live timing on your phone. That'll help keep things straightened out for you. That will, yeah. Make things a little better. So again, this they will tack a little bit of time onto the qualifying because of the cleanup taking place out here on the racetrack. So they will not cut it. It was supposed to end at 3:30, but I'm sure they'll give them a couple more minutes to adjust for that. And here comes Brian Gossel. Back out on the racetrack. This is his third and final attempt. He made 2 other attempts, and again, a rookie runner, not only at the Little 500, but also more or less on pavement, a non-wing sprint car. Just kind of went out and bought a Silver Crown car, and is trying them both on for size. He's done a lot of dirt track racing, so good to have Brian out here with us. Super nice guy to talk to down the pits. Windsor, Colorado is where he calls home. He doesn't quite trust the Super Suck-Up. He'll shut her down, bring her down into the infield. That white stuff that they put out, I call it Super Suck-Up. They use it you see it in NASCAR, you see it on all kinds of pavement tracks. It actually is sticky whenever you put it down, so it's almost a little bit like a rosin. So it's not like baby powder like you would think. So it does have some traction to it. It's not a danger of the car shooting out from underneath of you when you hit it, but it is a little intimidating to drive into and have a giant cloud of whiteness around you. So push off the 24, Corey Setzer, Fort Wayne, Indiana racer. Tom Brewer, American Landmaster, number 24 car. And again, this is his third and final attempt. He has got to put the laps into the books. This is it. All or nothing for the number 24 car. As he cruises through the corner, he runs pavement. Late models, he knows what the Super Suck-Up's all about. That didn't bother him at all down that end of the racetrack, and he shuts down and will not take the green flag, so that does not count as an attempt. As long as you pull the infield before you take the green flag, it does not count as an attempt. So here comes the number 51, Rapid Russ Gamester out of Lombard, Illinois. Russ Gamester, Arnie's Ace Hardware, and I believe his second attempt. You heard him punch the throttle and spin the tires there on a back chute, or it popped out of gear. Nope, didn't pop out of gear. So Gamester coming around, 1 to go. He'll shut it down, pull it down into the infield, and these guys are kind of flirting with the time limit. So Gossel coming out. Do it again. One to go from the starter stand. Yeah, he trusted it that time. He's going to shut her down, bring her back into the infield, though. He knows this is his last attempt and the pressure is on, and now, not sure what he's doing. Just got to grit your teeth and go for it. Corey Setzer in the same situation. We did have a car check in down the pit area, and so I don't know who was practicing the car. There's no name on it, but it is set to go for qualifying tomorrow. It will not come out and attempt to qualify today as the driver is not here, and they have not announced who the driver is at this juncture. Ooh, that's a good-looking line down there at that end of the racetrack. Turn number 1 and 2, this might be it. Corey Setzer, 24 car coming around. Nope, back to the infield. Shies away from it. For the record, we are at 3:23, 7 minutes remaining in the qualifying time. If they don't add time onto the end, which is possible they won't since we only have 2 cars out here trying to qualify in yet. Back out comes the 6G of Brian Gossel. Tomorrow you're going to see a lot of this come out. 1 to go, pull the infield during this bump day, because bump day, a lot of pressure. You tune in and watch it on all the Gossel scrubs off again. He goes back into the infield. Psych. But we'll be doing it again tomorrow for bump day. And you can watch on all the socials on Anderson Speedway social media, along with the Flow Racing social media and the Flow Sports app. $150 a year gets you everything on Flow Sports. Not just Flow Racing, everything on Flow Sports. If you're a wrestling fan, I know a lot of dirt track fans are also wrestling fans with Penn State because they're the #1 wrestling school in the nation. They're much better than anything else that you would find out in the Midwest. But anyhow, I'm not wrong about that. I was going to say I could be wrong, but I'm not wrong about that. Anyhow, Flow Wrestling covers all NCAA wrestling. It's up there, too, on the Flow Sports. So here we go. Punch the throttle. Corey Setzer does not sound like he's committed to this qualifying run to me. He is not. Back to the infield. Eric Gordon's back out here again. He's coming down to the wire as well. 3:24 is the time. Brian Gossel. That sounds like he's committed. You hear him punch the throttle on it, and down the back straight he went. He's coming around. This one's going to go. 1 to go. Warm-up lap for the number 6 car. Looks good down turn number 1 and 2. And Brian Gossel, the rookie runner, rookie car owner, we're going to call him with the pavement sprint car. Comes around. Here's the green flag. This is it. He is fully committed. Got to put in 4 good laps now. 11.912 was his warm-up lap. And Gossel trying to qualify into the 72nd running of the Payless Little 500. Rolls out of the corner. Lap number 1's going to be 11.840. Not too shabby for Gossel. Looks much better. If you remember, was he loose or was he tight? There was something awry with the handling of the race car. Whatever it was, it is now adjusted and fixed. It looks much better and goes 11.968 on lap number 2. And Gossel right down to the white line. Turn number 1 and 2. It takes him to the wall, and that cost him time, and that was not what he wanted to happen. Missed his line, but he has got to go. Get on the throttle, Brian. 13.043, his third lap, his fourth lap. Is going to be better than the third one, that's for sure, but not as good as the first 2, and just kind of lost his concentration, and unfortunately it cost him dearly. The fourth lap is going to be a 12.141 for Brian Gossel. So the 6G car right now has got his fingers crossed that he is up off and away from that bump spot that will be forming a little bit later on, perhaps tomorrow when the rest of the cars get here. As Gossel 30th quick on the field, a 48.992 for Brian Gossel, so he is 30th quick. He is in the big dance, but can he hang on to it tomorrow through bump day? That's the question. Here comes a racer. It should be up towards the top of the stack. The 77, Eric Gordon, has struggled here in his first 2 attempts. Green flag comes out, and he's going for it. All or nothing for the Indianapolis, Indiana runner, 9-time champ of the Little 500. And he's got a nice run going on. Opening lap, or his warm-up lap, at 11.625. His first scored lap is going to be an 11.678, so not as quick as I'm sure he'd like to see, but quick enough to get himself qualified into the field in the meat of it. Don't worry about later on. That thing bottomed out down in turn number 3, got on the binders, and here it hit the pavement. 11.677, 11.677. He scuffed his way into turn number 3 and 4 last time. A little better this time. It should be a better lap here on this lap number 3 for the 77 of Gordon. 11.583, 11.583. And this fourth and final lap needs to seal it off. was going to say with a kiss, but it's not really with a kiss. He just needs a good run to number 77. He can kiss it if he wants to. 11.600. Not too shabby. And that should get him well into the field. He shouldn't have to worry too much about bump day tomorrow for the 77 Eric Gordon. So his 24 car coming out here again. Gordon, the 77. We'll see where he ends up. He is going to be 21st quick on the field for Eric Gordon. A 46.538. 46.538. 21st quick for Eric Gordon. Here comes the 24, Corey Setzer. This is it. He's just about out of time. 3:27 on the official clock. That's not the official clock. That's my phone, actually, to be blatantly honest with you. Here comes the green flag. This is it. He's going for it. No, and she's loose coming out turn number 4. 11.646, that first warm-up lap. This is his first scored lap, but he is on the clock. His third attempt. He has got to go for the number 24. Settle down, take a deep breath, roll the shoulders. Goes 11.784. Lap number 1, and he is way up high in the dust. Do not want to get into marbles, top side of the racetrack. It'll send you right into the wall, so that almost cost him dearly. His second lap, though, is a 12.023. There you go. That's the line he was looking for. The car stumbles coming out turn number 2. Off its feed for the number 24. Now he's got mechanical issues. Lap number 3 with a 12.338. He needs to get around there and put this fourth lap in. He shuts her down, pulls at the infield. And unfortunately, that is his third and final attempt. He's going to have to try it again tomorrow as he does not finish off that 4-lap run for the number 24 for Setzer. So not sure what happened to it, but you heard it come off turn number 2 and stumble down the back straightaways. Here comes Rapid Russ Gamester. So this is his first Little 500 since back in 2017. Actually has 11 Little 500 starts. Couple top 5s for Gamester. Rapid Russ not afraid of the loud pedal. That's for sure. You hear that thing wrap up. Here we go. Green flag is out. Gamester is on the clock. 11.975, the warm-up lap for the number 51 car. Lap number 1. Now the corner he comes. This is going to be 11.743. 11.743 for Gamester on lap number 1. That was pretty healthy. If he can keep it right there around 11.7, 11.6, he'll be safe. Make it into the 72nd running. 11.733, that's what he's looking for. Consistency wins races, and Gamester rolls down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. A little bit high down at that end of the racetrack. Still goes 11.708. That might be the line for him. Actually picked up the pace on lap number 3. This is his fourth and final lap for the number 51 car, and I believe our final car to qualify out here today. Bump day starts tomorrow, 1:30. On the social media is 11.586 on the last lap around for Gamester. That was good as he continued to work on picking up the pace for the number 51. We'll see where he settles out. But he is your final car to attempt to qualify in today. We have had 33 cars attempt to qualify today. 3 cars that are in the pits have not turned in a qualifying time. We have 2 or 3 more cars on the way for tomorrow. We're going to have a very interesting bump day. It happens at 1:30 right here on the Flow Racing socials on Anderson Speedway. Make sure you follow along with the Anderson Speedway. Send them a little message. Say, hey, thanks so much for having Flow Racing down there to broadcast at. The number 51 car for the record, 22nd quick on the field, a 46.770. A quick time here today, and on the pole as it sits. We're not through bump day yet, but Cody Swanson, a 44.745. Tyler Rory, Kyle Hamilton will be your front row. Dakota Armstrong, Brian Gerster, Chris Neuenschwander will be row number 2. Bobby Santos, Billy Weiss, Mickey Kempkins is row number 3. Caleb Armstrong, Derek Bishak, Shane Butler are row number 4. So on and so forth, but that could all change tomorrow on bump day. You want to join us here on Flow Racing on the Flow Sports apps. Download it, $150 a year, gets you everything out there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm headed to Tin Plate to get something to eat. We'll be back in action again tomorrow. Bump day coming up. More cars set to qualify. We'll see if we can set our field for a 72nd running of the Payless Little 500 right here at Anderson Speedway. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys be good. We'll see you mañana.
If you want to be remembered, you got to do more than just win. You got to get them out of their seats. You got to give them the slide job, cushion pounding, no holds barred racing they paid to see. This is dirt track. That means pushing it to the edge and laying it all on the line. Yeah, you might wreck. We'll help you get back out there so they can watch you try it again and again. See, dirt track is a sport of the people, and only they decide if you're to be remembered. It's your job to take risks and make sure you're memorable. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
My name is Cole Bodine. I'm the driver of the Driven to Save Lives Class Marshall Racing 39 BC. I'm racing for Driven to Save Lives because it is more than just about winning. I never knew Brian on a personal level, but as I grew up in racing, I watched him race. Being able to work close with his friends and family, I've learned so much about him. And especially, going to the races, all you do is hear about him and how dominant he was on and off the track. That's definitely how I aspire to be. I haven't been with Driven to Save Lives very long. It's been incredible, especially at Chili Bowl. Seeing all the people come up to the registration booth, half of them aren't even race fans and are new to racing, and to be the driver that they support is incredible. Brian saved 5 lives and healed countless others through organ and tissue donation.
Racing's not a sport. Racing is a lifestyle. It's all night in the shop and long days on the road. You always push a little harder, and you refuse to lose. Protect yourself. Protect your passion. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.